I don't know if you all had the time to read in detail the document describing the session, and I'll just read the format for you so you can have an idea of what we will try to do. Session will last up to 90 minutes. We are not required to stay 90 minutes in the room, but it can last until 90 minutes. It will comprise 3 segments. First, a keynote speech of about 5 to 10 minutes. Then, the other members of this panel will speak for about the same 5 to 10 minutes. And this will last for about 35 to 40 minutes. And then we will open the mic for the rest of the group that is here, since this is supposed to be a round table, although the room is not round, and the tables are not either. The workshop starts with a brief explanation of the flow of the session, so I did that already. And I'll do my presentation, and then we'll proceed to listen to the other people in the panel, okay? I will perhaps raise an issue which I have heard about and see that is a concern which surfaces more or less frequently when we discuss what to do regarding the public service and the state. And what we have today, these so-called digital technologies have reached new heights in their complexity, including the diversity and complexity of these networked systems and applications that we use every day. As we speak, cryptocurrency miners may have installed a script on your mobile or desktop browser. And whenever your device is connected to the network, it helps mine cryptocurrencies to a stranger. You don't know about it, but may happen. As we speak, news comes from a country in which a bank has depleted the stock of high-performance video cards in the market to use in cryptocurrency mining, because video cards are usually much more powerful than the central processor of a desktop. So they use software which use this video card to do cryptocurrency mining. As we speak, algorithms are used to decide hiring or firing, releasing or holding people in prison, approving or refusing credit, or offering credit under conditions that vary according to the profile analyzed by the algorithm. Data from a group of researchers point to the possibility that in the next 10 to 20 years, about half of today's jobs will be threatened by algorithms. And 40% of the top 500 companies may disappear within a decade. They estimate that between 2020 and 2060, supercomputers will exceed human skills in almost every area. People of the caliber of Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Steve Wozniak warn that this mechatronic superintelligence network is a serious threat to humanity, possibly even more dangerous than nuclear weapons. As we speak, Internet of Things, IoT, one of the new fashionable talk topics, is already present in our homes and pockets for a long time. Smartphones and smart TVs are examples. And hundreds of millions of devices have been deployed without proper security protections. In most cases, no one knows who actually built the device or who is responsible for the firmware, the software that runs inside the machine, embedded in the device. And there is no question there never will be a firmware update of these devices. And here reside the main challenges. How do these results and deployments impact in real life? Are they to be automatically accepted by decision makers as valid or true? Some analysts have provided abundant functioning examples of the dangers of trusting human decision-making to algorithms. Mathematician Cathy O'Neill is an outstanding example of a researcher pointing precisely to these dangers in several typical applications of these systems. Today's social networking or transactional algorithms know more about us than our family or ourselves, and they can even offer recommendations for decisions that look good, even if they are not our decisions. A situation where we are increasingly remotely controlled. The more these systems know about us, the more our actions can be predetermined by others. It's something like going from computer programming to people programming. It's the algorithms of mass destruction, or weapons of math destruction, in Cathy O'Neill's precise expression. What should concern us even more, as if we needed to be more frightened, is that this whole technical entangled apparatus is not the privilege of the super rich manipulating governments or state systems of monitoring and fighting crime, but it is also within the reach of common hackers who invade and extract the data they want from the Pentagon, the White House, Equifax, the NSA, or take a whole network for ransom, as in the case of England's NHS captured by ransomware. And if you know that these vulnerabilities happen in the United States, what to expect in other countries? We are at a crossroads. If ever more powerful algorithms are controlled by a narrow group of decision makers, reducing our self-determination or the balancing opinion of human common sense, researchers say that we will fall back on what they are now calling a sort of feudalism 2.0. And here I reach a topic I would like to have considered for this session. The challenge of preparing public servants, the public sector, political decision makers, to better understand what is going on. We see in the many targets described for the 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, that there are 15 ones of the targets mentioning or related to capacity development. And these targets seem to avoid this specific issue of formation of the public sector. On several fronts, we learn of new bills of law, dozens of these bills of law, trying to regulate, modify, repress instances of technology for which the proposers have no idea what they are talking about. We have seen a glaring example of this in the debate on net neutrality in the United States right now. We see many examples of bills proposing blockade, censorship, content control, etc., which usually involve complete lack of knowledge of the functioning of these networking systems. As a result, politicians may be manipulated by powerful economic interests to insert biased laws favoring their business. How to create capacity development mechanisms which will lead to better lawmaking and more informed decision-making by the public sector. A problem, of course, for any field, but particularly acute when it involves the complexities of the network, the systems of today and tomorrow. So that's the main issue I pose to you and to our fellows here. I think Enrique has a presentation that will touch this issue, and I, of course, welcome any other issue that you might stress in this panel. So now I would open for the other participants of this panel, and should I go left to right or right to left? Right to left. Okay. Now the representative of Guatemala, right?
No, Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic. My God, I should read it. My God. Okay, please. Can you do a paragraph on yourself for the people? Because I should have done it, but there was no time.
No matter, it's okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Federica Tortorella. I'm representing the Dominican Republic ISOP chapter. I'm a lawyer and I'm passionate about internet governance. Well, during this panel, the question was, what is the role individual NRIs in harnessing technologies through digital competences for sustainable development within the respective country region. So I will talk about Dominican Republic situation. Well, IGF initiative must follow some principles like being non-commercial, inclusive, and they must have multi-stakeholder participation in both formulation of the initiative and in other related events. They must be seen as a tool or way to enhance the multi-stakeholder participation and especially the government to submit proposals to regulate and accomplish the sustainable development objectives in the country. In Dominican Republic, the local chapter organized 3 IGF since 2015. Every year, more people are interested in local internet governance issues and take part in the events. IGFs made it possible to start talking about cybersecurity, net neutrality for the first time, always with a multi-stakeholder focus. In 2016, the ISOC Dominican Republic chapter submitted a declaration of the digital rights, principles, and values in Dominican Republic. And in 2017, we organized a workshop about IXP to launch a local IXP initiative, which has resulted in the interest from our local regulator. NRI could also use the legal tools existing in the Constitution or other laws valid in the country to submit draft bills at the Parliament dealing with ICTs. The aim would be to harness the use of them to reach the sustainable development objectives, and to create digitally inclusive communities and to strengthen the one existing. In this case, for example, in Dominican Republic, we have the right of initiative. Finally, they should be capable to work directly with the government as assessors, as the above-mentioned initiative on IXP, while implementing public policies that deals with ICTs. Also, they need to enhance the awareness about internet governance issues. Thanks to a survey we created to size the knowledge of the SDO, we have discovered that a lot of people, especially students, don't know what they are. So to harness digital tools to reach SDO goals, it is necessary to alphabetize the multi-stakeholder groups about those issues first. Also to create indicators or data to measure the advancement through time related to the data literacy approach. We agree with Mr. Thomas Gass, Assistant Secretary General for Policy Coordination, that said that sustainable development is about empowering and enabling people through the transfer of knowledge and skills to make progress for future generations. Based on it, our local, national, and regional initiative agrees on importance to promote the adoption of ICTs to achieve them. And to make it happen, the multi-stakeholder focus is necessary. NRI should work together to submit proposals and to unify criteria, especially for the action in support of the sustainable development objects using digital tools. In every case, the inclusion of different sectors is fundamental to implement those proposals. Also, national and regional initiatives must do an effort to be interconnected with technical communities and international organizations.
Thank you. One quick comment. You mentioned a declaration of digital rights.
Yes.
It seems to be similar to the Brazilian Marco Civil, the civil rights framework for the internet.
Well,
it's a declaration of principles for
use of
the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Enrique is next, please. Lembra de se introduzir?
Good morning to all. My name is Henrique Faulhaber. I'm one of the board members of CGI-VR, representing the IT community. I'm on the private sector, and I represent on CGI-VR the IT industry in Brazil. This session today, we will talk about the importance of raise digital competence on our society. I will talk about Brazil, of course, and I will bring to you some cases when CGI-BR are involved in the issue of raising awareness of the cybersecurity issues. Of course, the digital competence that we need to improve on developing countries are very general, because we know that all the new jobs of the future needs to address digital competence. In Brazil, we have maybe half of the population outside the internet, and it's a problem, but these people is coming into the new digital society very quickly, mainly through the mobile system. And of course, we know that to include those people on this new society, we need to work on digital capacity building. I will focus, as I told you, more on a specific digital capacity awareness related to cybersecurity, because, as you know, cybersecurity is a big issue in Brazil and all over the world. In Brazil, myself, I was involved as coordinator of a project against spam, and Brazil was we started this project on the 2009, and this project ends. It's continued, but it has a result in 2012, and our intention there is to take Brazil off of the list of the 5 countries that send more spam all over the world. We discovered through analysis of the situation, putting honeypots, computers that try to study where the spam comes from, and that Brazil was the first or the second country that more sends spam to the world, but we are not the original senders of the spam. We are like a hub, and because our network was unprotected, much of the computers in Brazil were compromised and used for all over the world as a hub, as a network that can be abused to send spam through Brazilian equipments, compromised to all over the world. So what they did, that we implement a technical called management of port 25, and we did this as work done through government. I mean the telecommunication agents, Anatel, through the private sector, I mean the ISPs and telecom industry, and also involving the government, because sometime in a specific period of the project, some complaints are put from the telco operators in order to be prepared to receive complaints from the consumers, because we will stop one port that was not supposed to be blocked on the contracts with the users. So we did this project using a multi-stakeholder format, and we have success, because after we implement this project, Brazil was not the first or second country that sent more spam in the world, and now he is between the 25 or third country in that context. But I explain about this project to talk about the importance of education and awareness in order to implement a project that make the network in Brazil more reliable. And we did that since the beginning, because we have to show to the users that it's important to change their email program in order to use another port, not the 25 port that it should be used just for the service that provide email, not the user itself. And also we need to explain how to be prepared to the moment that the telcos will switch the key and avoid that all the email that goes through the users, from the user to another, should use another port, the 587. We are in fact worried because the change was made and it will involve millions of users, and we are aware about the impact on the hotline of the ISPs and also in the hotline of the telco companies when the key was switched off. But we promote a banner campaign. We made websites. We made a press conference. We put this information that the people must be warned about this modification when that modification was planned to be done. And in fact, we are surprised because the level of difficulties and the problem on the call centers was much less than we are prepared to, because all the education and preparation and our awareness campaigns that we did before we turned the key. So CGI-BR are involved in several initiatives like that on the awareness of the problem, of the issue of cybersecurity. In fact, we have inside the CGI-BR a group called CERT.br. That's the CERT that, in fact, created the other certs in Brazil, the government cert, the university cert, and also the company certs. And the cert is, since 10 years from now, they work with us with this SPAN project, and when education has a central role, and we also produce through the CERT several booklets on cybersecurity focusing different interest groups. So we have booklets on cybersecurity for children. You have booklets on cybersecurity for teachers. We have booklets about virus, about phishing, about botnets, about spam, of course, about ransomware. So we invest a lot of our time and money trying to raise the education of Brazilian society about the cybersecurity issue problems. We believe that cybersecurity is really a big concern, but much of the problem should be avoided by educating the people, not even the children and the people who are newly included, but everybody. So this kind of digital capacity that I choose to talk to you about the case of digital capacity in Brazil through SART-BR, we believe it's a good example and necessary effort that every country should be considering when talking about how to raise the digital competence in our society. I think I will be here. In fact, we can talk about several aspects of this digital competence necessity, and I will be open here for the discussions I believe you have during this section. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Enrique. I missed Monsieur Marcian Makaya from the République Centrafricaine. No. He's going to speak in French.
Gabon.
Oh, Gabon. From Gabon, sorry. Yes, and if you have a presentation, right? It's already online, okay. You are from the Cameroon. He is from Gabon. You are from Gabon as well. Cameroon. Gabon. Foi muito além do que eu...
You should keep it like this because of the captions. You should keep it like this.
Okay, like this.
Okay, just next it here.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm going to speak in French. It's more easy for me. Donc, je vais parler des compétences, de comment utiliser au mieux les compétences pour développer le numérique, ou du moins pour s'en approprier le mieux possible. Donc, je suis Marcian Makaya, secrétaire exécutif de l'IGF Gabon, Afrique centrale. Je vais d'abord ici vous présenter donc le modèle conceptuel de l'indice de développement des technologies de l'information et de la communication tel que recommandé par l'IUT. Pour avoir un impact des technologies de l'information et de la communication dans un pays, il faut nécessairement l'usage, le développement de l'usage. Il faudrait aussi que tout ce qui est infrastructure et les accès soient correctement assurés. Et au niveau des usages, on se rend compte que pour avoir un usage intensif, en ce moment, tout ce qui est capacité d'apprentissage, tout ce qui est formation, tout ce qui est compétences intervient. Là, je vais vous montrer un petit peu l'indice de développement des technologies de l'information et de la communication au niveau de l'Afrique centrale, tel que communiqué récemment. L'Afrique centrale en général et le Gabon en particulier. Donc, pour 2017, on a l'Angola qui a 1,94, le Burundi à 1,48, le Gabon à 4,11, et enfin, on a la République de Corée à 8,85. Donc, le Gabon à 4,11 est premier au niveau sous-régional, donc Afrique centrale, et sixième au niveau africain. Vous vous rendez compte que c'est la moitié de la Corée qui est deuxième au niveau mondial. je vais vous montrer aussi une photographie donc, du Gabon au niveau des indicateurs des TIC et en ressortir quelques-uns. Donc, au niveau du Gabon, tout ce qui est accès a déjà bien avancé, avec notamment l'abonnement au cellulaire qui est à plus de 165%. Donc, ça dépasse la moyenne mondiale. La 3G recouvre pratiquement 92% de la population, au-dessus aussi du niveau mondial. C'est pour dire qu'au niveau des accès, il y a déjà des efforts, qui sont faits au niveau du Gabon et aussi un petit peu dans les usages. Pour ce qui est, donc on a vu qu'il y avait, pour avoir un impact véritable des technologies, on a donc les accès, on a les usages, et les usages dépendent énormément de l'indicateur de la compétence. Et au terme d'indicateur de la compétence, ici, on a aussi donc l'Afrique centrale. L'Afrique centrale avec l'Angola qui est à 28,9 au niveau de l'enseignement, au niveau du taux de scolarisation dans l'enseignement secondaire, 28. Donc on a ici le taux de scolarisation dans le secondaire, le taux de scolarisation dans le supérieur, et enfin le niveau de scolarisation moyen du pays. Donc on va appeler ici le taux d'alphabétisation, le troisième indicateur. On a l'Angola qui a respectivement 28,9, 9,9 et puis 5. Et là, on va aller directement vers le Gabon, qui a 53,3 au niveau du taux d'alphabétisation dans le secondaire, 8,4 au niveau du taux d'alphabétisation dans le supérieur, et enfin 8,1 au niveau du taux d'alphabétisation. Vous voyez qu'encore ici, la Corée va se retrouver deuxième mondiale au niveau ID, va se retrouver à pratiquement 98. Donc, le Gabon, qui est le premier sous-régional, est encore pratiquement de moitié. C'est pour dire ici ça montre que dans le développement global des technologies de l'information et de la communication, la compétence éducation et les compétences interviennent de manière fondamentale. Okay? De manière fondamentale. C'est ainsi que, pour ce qui est du développement, c'est ainsi que l'inclusion en dépend clairement. Lorsqu'on est compétent, on s'inclut facilement dans une société qui évolue vers les modèles du savoir, qui évolue vers un modèle de technologie de l'information et de la communication. Ici, au niveau de l'IGF Gabon, donc, on a identifié la catégorie des jeunes, c'est quoi leurs besoins, on a identifié les citoyens, on a identifié la nécessité d'avoir pour des professionnels les compétences pour travailler, mais on comprend aussi que les technologies de l'information et de la communication ont un intérêt lorsque les pays dans lesquels se déploient peuvent devenir plus riches, lorsque ça peut régler le problème de l'emploi. Et pour cela, on a besoin de développer les compétences métiers, donc des métiers techniques au niveau des technologies de l'information et de la communication. Donc, pour terminer, les recommandations que nous faisons au niveau de l'IGF Gabon, que nous allons faire au niveau régional. Donc ça, c'est un petit peu ce qu'on a comme projet pour l'année 2018. C'est aller vers les décideurs et leur dire d'améliorer déjà tout ce qui est scolarité de base. Parce que sans scolarité de base, il n'y a pas de développement de technologie de l'information et de la communication. C'est déjà leur dire d'apporter les formations technologiques au niveau déjà de l'école primaire. On pense que si c'est déjà pris en compte depuis l'école primaire, ça va être beaucoup plus facile en inclusion pour les jeunes et après quand ils seront adultes plus tard. On se rend bien compte aussi que l'usage peut se faire avec beaucoup plus d'intensité s'il y a la confiance numérique, s'il y a la sécurité et que la réglementation soit aussi au rendez-vous. Par ailleurs, pour ce qui est de la création de richesses et de l'emploi, nous recommandons aussi des compétences de très haut niveau. Donc des compétences qui permettent de faire de la recherche et du développement pour qu'un continent comme l'Afrique, qui aura 2,5 milliards d'habitants d'ici 2050, puisse concevoir ce qu'il consomme, ne soit pas que consommateur demain. Donc les compétences de très haut niveau sont ici clairement conseillées. Nous avons identifié, par exemple, en ce qui concerne le Gabon, les besoins du citoyen. C'est des besoins de faire les mails, du mobile monnaie, du mobile banking, des achats avec les téléphones portables qui sont très développés dans les pays africains. Donc au niveau de l'IGF Gabon, ce qu'on a fait, c'est qu'on a déjà identifié les besoins des citoyens. Et donc, ce qu'on pense faire pour 2018, c'est former un certain nombre de catégories de personnes. C'est former les femmes, c'est former les personnes handicapées, c'est former les parents, parce qu'on se rend bien compte que les parents ne parviennent plus à suivre leurs enfants, notamment dans les réseaux sociaux. On conseille que les parents soient aussi dans les réseaux sociaux pour pouvoir suivre leurs parents. Et puis, pour ce qui est des professionnels, on souhaite identifier un ensemble de formations en ligne pour pouvoir donner les conseils. Voilà, donc on suis ouvert pour les questions par la suite. Je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup. Now, Michel, s'il vous plaît.
Bonjour tout le monde. Sorry, I'm going to speak in French because it's the language that I can speak more. Vous avez les salutations de toute l'Afrique centrale et nous saisissons l'opportunité pour remercier tout le secrétariat de l'IGF et toute la communauté pour avoir accepté de nous associer à cet échange. En fait, les compétences numériques pour exploiter les technologies au service du développement local, cas et approche, sont notre préoccupation de ce matin. Pour ce faire, j'ai essayé de spéculer sur le sujet sur 5 points. La première chose, je voudrais, au-delà des explications d'autres orateurs, me permettre de faire une petite introduction. Les compétences numériques se résument en fait comme une aptitude à avoir dans le domaine des TIC, afin qu'elles puissent véritablement contribuer au développement durable. Les compétences numériques doivent prendre en compte les spécialités propres à la préservation de notre écosystème. Mais alors, comment ces initiatives nationales que nous menons chaque jour au niveau sous-régional, au niveau régional, peuvent véritablement amener les compétences numériques à exploiter les technologies pour le développement durable? De ce point de vue, nous pensons qu'il faut prendre en compte les compétences numériques présentes dans notre environnement et ce dont nous aurons besoin pour exploiter les technologies pour un développement durable. Nous pensons également qu'il faut examiner quel peut être l'apport des initiatives nationales, sous-régionales, régionales, dans ce processus afin de permettre aux compétences numériques de contribuer à l'exploitation des technologies pour un développement durable. Et enfin, il faut scruter le cas spécifique. Nous pouvons prendre le cas du Cameroun ou bien de l'Afrique centrale en la matière. Les compétences numériques on peut penser à 3 typologies de compétences numériques. Il y a la compétence technique, la compétence collaborative et la compétence cognitive. Au niveau de la compétence technique, il s'agit de la capacité à utiliser efficacement les technologies. Nous le savons et on vit les cas dans nos pays. Il y a la compétence collaborative, c'est-à-dire la capacité à collaborer et à résoudre des problèmes dans un environnement de technologie. Et enfin, la compétence cognitive, qui est la capacité à sélectionner, interpréter et évaluer l'information numérique. Ces compétences ont donc favorisé l'évolution des technologies de l'information et de la communication dans le monde et spécifiquement dans nos pays, selon les informations et les statistiques que nous avons recueillies du rapport de la Banque mondiale de 2016. Et à ce sujet, la Banque mondiale nous indique qu'au niveau des entreprises, Instagram est par exemple à 186 millions de photos, Skype à 152 millions d'appels sur Skype, Amazon à 36 millions d'achats sur Amazon. Si on fait une petite évaluation, on remarque qu'il y a 2,3 milliards de gigas de trafic sur le web. Il y a 207 milliards de courriers envoyés chaque jour et à chaque instant. Vous voyez donc qu'avec toute cette évolution technologique, il y a une influence tout azimut dans l'anticipation des propagations du nuisible ou des maladies pour voir la combinaison des données ramassées par des sondes combinées aux capacités géolocalisation. Dans la production, le stockage, la distribution et l'efficacité énergétique avec l'énergie éolienne qui utilise les TIC pour fonctionner. Et enfin, dans la résilience des économies et la stabilité des populations. Dans le domaine d'intervention des TIC, j'ai pu spécifier 3 axes, l'écologie sociétale et le social. Au niveau de l'écologie, les TIC ont un apport positif pour la réduction de l'émission des échos de serre. Selon les estimations, les TIC peuvent permettre d'économiser de 1 à 4 fois leur propre émission de gaz à effet de serre. Et au niveau sociétal, nous assistons à un passage de la société industrielle à la société de l'information, avec une transformation radicale du comportement de l'homme et même de toute notre famille. Et au niveau sociétal, ça se voit au niveau du comportement au travail. Au niveau de la contribution, effectivement, de cette compétence, au niveau pour le développement durable, nous sommes attardés sur 3 axes, le télétravail, nous avons également la réunion à distance et enfin la gestion rationnelle du transport. Au niveau du télétravail, cela peut générer des économies de GES significatives. Limiter des déplacements professionnels, réduire les espaces de travail et des locaux, diminuer le besoin en chauffage et en climatisation. Au niveau de la réunion à distance, qui à un moment donné constitue la solution lorsqu'on n'a pas assez de moyens, par des conférences téléphoniques et visioconférences, contribue directement au volet environnemental du développement durable par les économies d'énergie et de transport. La meilleure rentabilité économique des entreprises en dépend immédiatement. Au niveau de la gestion rationnelle des transports, les transports intelligents améliorent les performances des transports et leur sécurité. Les avantages, c'est que cela diminue également la consommation d'énergie et le recours des énergies plus propres. La minimisation de la croissance des trafics et des embouteillages, l'utilisation plus efficace des infrastructures telles que je le démontre dans le schéma qui est en dessous. Au niveau, parlant toujours de cette compétence, la compétence numérique représente de prime abord une capacité pour un individu à employer ainsi qu'à combiner ses connaissances, c'est-à-dire son savoir, ses habiletés, c'est-à-dire son savoir-faire, ses aptitudes, c'est-à-dire son savoir-être pour l'usage des TIC. En Afrique, les compétences sont donc spécifiques au regard de l'évolution de cette technologie-là. Les aptitudes recherchées sur le continent se résument encore aux compétences collaboratives et cognitives. L'échelle régionale, la formation des ingénieurs et autres professionnels d'éthique constitue notre préoccupation à l'heure actuelle. Il y a la formation des entrepreneurs et potentiels entrepreneurs dans l'univers du numérique. Et ça, nous le remarquons déjà par des programmes mis en place par Google dans ces différentes plateformes, dans le Digital Skills with Google. La production de contenus éducatifs qui constitue désormais les préoccupations de beaucoup de gouvernements au sein des ministères appropriés, c'est-à-dire le ministère de l'Éducation. Le cas spécifique de WikiAfrica Cameroun, qui produit des contenus à l'intention des élèves du primaire, la mise en place des outils numériques, la mise au point des tablettes éducatives permettant l'accès à des contenus éducatifs des classes de la maternelle à l'université aux projets plus ambitieux tels que ceux visés par l'Agence de l'Union francophone. À l'échelle sous-régionale, un accent est désormais mis et accordé, ça s'est dit également par mon prédécesseur, sur la formation, sur le renforcement des capacités, sur l'organisation de campagnes de sensibilisation, de séminaires et conférences sur les problématiques des technologies de l'information et de la communication. Bien évidemment, il faut mettre en bonne place la question de l'octroi des bourses de formation qui constitue la pierre d'achoppement pour le succès des différents programmes. La promotion de l'innovation qui cadre désormais et rentre dans les stratégies des pays. Au niveau de l'apport des initiatives régionales et sous-régionales, sur le plan national, le Cameroun a organisé plusieurs forums de la gouvernance Internet. Et à l'issue de ces rencontres, on a eu quelques résultats. D'ailleurs, d'abord, une meilleure appropriation de la nécessité de passer de l'IPv4 à l'IPv6, une sensibilisation large des entreprises sur l'importance des missions d'audition de sécurité du système d'information, une meilleure connaissance de l'environnement juridique et institutionnel du secteur, une implication des couches vulnérables dans l'usage des TIC, une meilleure appropriation de l'usage de la signature électronique dans la sécurisation des transactions électroniques et enfin, le développement du e-commerce. Le cas du Cameroun, toujours au niveau de la stratégie de mise en place, puisque ce que j'ai essayé d'énumérer rentre dans les recommandations, il y a l'amélioration du cadre juridique et réglementaire qui évolue au fur et à mesure, la diversité des secteurs, des acteurs, la formation et l'éducation, l'approche multi-acteurs en construction permanente, la promotion des petits entrepreneurs dans le cadre de la politique de l'économie numérique. Au niveau de l'impact stratégique, au niveau de la santé, le projet numérique a encouragé, à encourager, et ça à de nombreux niveaux. C'est par exemple le cas des start-upers que Gidermond créé par un jeune Camerounais qui permet l'accompagnement et le suivi des grossesses des femmes enceintes ainsi que de la santé des enfants durant leurs premiers mois de vie via les téléphones. Le point de vue de l'autonomie des femmes sur ces questions ne pas à négliger. C'est ainsi que les TIC permettent aujourd'hui de faciliter le travail des femmes dans divers domaines via les réseaux sociaux et professionnels d'acteurs. Elles réussissent à amener des activités génératrices de revenus sur des plateformes en ligne, sur les plans politiques et sociaux. Elles arrivent également, grâce aux outils du Web 2.0, à renforcer leur capacité, leur participation politique et lutter pour la promotion de leurs droits. Les actions de la société civile, à l'instar du CAPDAD, CARSUS, Protège QV, CIDER, Pratique, en sont des illustrations. Du point de vue de l'entrepreneuriat et l'innovation, on constate dans cette décennie qu'en Afrique fleurissent des incubateurs, technopoles, pépinières et autres lieux d'aide à l'entrepreneuriat et à l'innovation. Ces structures manquent de moyens de visibilité. Elles sont souvent des réseaux locaux de soutien sans lien les uns avec les autres. Certains mécanismes d'encadrement doivent être mis en place pour fédérer les acteurs de l'innovation, leur donner la visibilité et un lieu de représentation. C'est le lieu d'exprimer de vive voix que ces recommandations soient prises en compte lors des résolutions du Forum de la gouvernance Internet 2017. Au niveau des perspectives, et la mise en exécution du plan stratégique numérique de nos pays de la sous-région, dans le cadre spécifique du Cameroun, plan 2020 dans la vision s'appuie sur 3 principaux piliers se rapportant respectivement aux aspects liés à l'offre et à la demande, à la régulation et à la gouvernance. dans le développement des infrastructures large bande, c'est-à-dire l'accroissement de la production et de l'offre de contenus numériques, assurer la transformation numérique de l'administration et des entreprises, le renforcement de la confiance du numérique. En conclusion, les bonnes pratiques peuvent se résumer en ces quelques points. La création des instituts de recherche pour le développement d'éthique dans les pays en développement, le développement des coopérations multilatérales avec des pays où l'économie numérique a déjà connu un essor, susciter des sources de financement en vue de renforcement des capacités des entrepreneurs et ingénieurs des entreprises locales, créer des incubateurs d'entreprises avec les laboratoires d'essai, encourager la création des start-up, promouvoir l'émergence des villes numériques par l'implémentation des technologies de pointe en la matière, développer le concept d'Internet des projets par la formation et l'accompagnement des pays en développement dans son appropriation, développer des dispositifs de maîtrise de l'énergie et des émissions de déchets des TIC, dématérialiser des procédures dans les pays. Je vous remercie de votre aimable attention.
Merci beaucoup,
Thank you
Michel.
very much.
Rapidamente, Ana, por favor.
May I speak in Portuguese? Well, good morning, everybody, and good morning, Luisa, who is in Lisbon as rapporteur of this session. And, I'm here to talk a little bit about our national initiative of IGF, but with the focus on digital competencies. So we have 26% of the population who never used the internet. On the other hand, we have 28% of the population that has advanced competencies, digital competencies. So we are a dual country. So it's very interesting because as I normally say, we can share our best practices, or not so good, our best and bad practices with developing and developed countries. Because we are in the same path of some developing countries and we are in the same path of developed countries. So to face this challenge in Portugal, it was launched by the Prime Minister on the 3rd of April, a new initiative that is called Portugal in Code 2030. So in code, it's not because of coding, but it is about initiative on competencies of digital competencies. And it is like, it's not an action plan, but it has measures and actions that should be thought on the short, medium, and long terms. And one thing that is very interesting in this initiative is that it was launched top down, but the point is to launch and to boost bottom-up initiatives as well. So it's not so easy to have like initiatives from the civil society to have this kind of a lifelong term. So it was very good to see this initiative to be launched by the Prime Minister. And another interesting thing is that it has 6 ministers that are on board, and they are very committed. So I'm not talking about ministries, but ministers. So it's very interesting as well. So normally, all these kind of initiatives, they have the digital inclusion. So normally for accessibility. Normally they have the formal education pillar as well, and employability, so qualification and requalification. So normally we have this kind of initiatives all over the world to face these 3 problems. The news on this initiative, on this Portuguese initiative, is that we have 2 other pillars, which are advanced specialization, and the 5th one is about research. and the creation of new knowledge using emerging technologies. So it means that this initiative, so it is for the whole society. So all the society is, will have a link with this initiative. So for instance, myself, I could be on the third pillar for requalification. And so we are launching this kind of measures and actions. Of course, everything is being done with the other stakeholders. So, of course, it's not, it's a government initiative, but it has already in it other stakeholders that are involved, and where we have the measures and the pillars, when you read it, you can see civil society, private sector, academia, so they are all involved. Otherwise, it will be impossible to change the paradigm. So we have the diagnosis, we know what is going on in Portugal, and so we know what to do now. So we are in the stage where the diagnosis is totally made, and we know where to focus. And we know that we have to encompass the whole society. So it's a question of full citizenship. So it's to democratize the knowledge, because the society is, we have this new digital society where people, they interact almost every time online. So you cannot afford to have people aside and not be part of this new society. So this is what I'd like to say about the national initiative on IGF. That is, of course, digital competencies are really part of it. I'm not talking only about digital skills, so I'm beyond that. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And now we have not too much time, but we are open to questions. Oh. Yes, please, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. I will be very brief. I will talk about a movement, a national movement, who has some similarities with INCODE, but who was set up by the national private sector. I'm talking about MUDA. You can check it online. I believe the contents are provided only in Portuguese, but even though, so if you have time and patience, please go to muda.pt. So it is a movement MUDA stands for Movement for an Active Digital Use, and it was set up in the beginning of this year, like INCODE, and the initiative brings together the private sector, as I told you previously. I mean, the universities, foundations, the major companies in Portugal, like telcos, banks, insurance companies, the Portuguese CCTLD.pt, and as well the government. The movement is, I would say, blessed by the Ministry of the Economy and by the Portuguese Agency for the Administrative Modernization. Well, at the moment we are running several roadshows going on around the country, and we do have a very, I would say, friendly quiz online. You can do and fill your digital competences. And we have, like INCODE, we are based in the several pillars, like access, trade, communication, legislation. Well, I'm particularly involved in this legislation movement in order to promote the digital signature, the digital archives, and the digital contracts, but health, the security, freedom. But what I'd like to focus here is the two pillars in particular, literacy and etiquette. Well, we, like INCODE, we have the perfect mindset that we have to promote, at the national level, the use of digital technologies, and that we have to try to contribute in order to make citizens develop appropriate digital behavior. So these two pillars, I believe, that are more focused in the matter that we are talking about here today. So just to finalize, we are working together with ENCODE. We have outside the same big major goals in order to have a more digital and inclusive society in Portugal. So that's all for me. Thank you.
I apologize to you. I had an initial list of participants, and I got confused. I'm sorry. So now is open to comments from anyone, please.
You know, I always have a question. This is Marilia Maciel from Diplo Foundation. I think that you presented a very interesting overview of how public policies and multi-stakeholder initiatives can harness digital competencies for SDGs. But I just would like you to explore a little bit more how NRIs, regional and national IGFs, have included the discussion on digital competencies on the track in the program of your meeting. Do you feel like it's easy to do that? Has this resonated with your audience? Because sometimes I feel that here in the IGF we are speaking about SDGs, but still we fail to integrate that completely in the program. How is that taking place in national and regional IGFs?
Well, if anyone who described the national situations could respond, if you want.
Just to talk about the IGF in Brazil, we call the Internet Forum. Our Internet Forum happened last November in Rio de Janeiro, and it was the pre-IGF. This year, we followed the process that IGF use, calling for workshop proposals from the society, and we received about 70 projects, and we select 21. I believe there are one or two workshops that we accept that are raising the question of digital competence. In fact, this year was the first year that we did the Internet Forum as a pre-IGF, really trying to follow the procedures. But maybe as autocritics, we don't focus on guarantee that each important issue as digital capacity could be represented on the overall. We judge by the quality of the proposals, but we couldn't accept different perspectives of the issues that the IGF Brazil could address. I believe we had one or two of digital capacities workshops there, but maybe we could next year focus more on those points, because we believe that digital capacity is very central to the to make planning and to make a national awareness about this important issue. But that's my contribution about the situation in Brazil on our IGF.
Any other comments? People want to go early to lunch, I think.
Well, so probably we can explore. Oh, sorry. I'm Vinicius. I work at CGI.br also, and I am here as some kind of support for the organization of this session and making some report and everything else. I think there is one last question that we can explore a little bit more. I think everybody talked about it, but just to close this session, I think it would be good to explore the topic of collaboration between NRIs. So envisioning all these topics that were treated here, were delved into here, so how can the NRIs collaborate to enhance this sort of topics, these sort of capacities and digital competencies? So this would be my question to the round table. The round table that is flat, but but it's round table. What would be the ways to do that? How would these NRIs could collaborate in these digital competencies?
Thank you very much. Well, I didn't introduce myself before. I'm an NF, and I'm the director of the Department of for Information Society in Portugal. On this question, and I think it's really important, and that's what we should discuss. But I'm not going to discuss it, but I'm going to raise a question to my colleagues here. Do you have in your national initiatives anything dedicated to digital skills or digital competencies? Or someone here in the room that have their own national initiatives? Do you have in your national discussions a session dedicated exclusively to digital skills or digital competencies? Thank you.
Just as I told before, we didn't divide the asking for proposals in areas. Maybe we should consider that next year, because in that way we can guarantee that certain topics, all the main topics should be covered. Because in Brazil we had about 5 or 10 sessions on cybersecurity and 2 sessions on capacity building. So maybe if you define that you should submit workshops and include the topics, the main topics that should be covered, we have a more plural workshops on our national IGF. It should be an idea that we can discuss this year.
Okay, thank you. So I believe that the fact that we are here today sharing our experience, it's a first step of collaboration. But even though I would like to share with you guys that Portugal and Brazil now, but I believe that other players will join us. We are planning to organize the first initiative of the countries who speak Portuguese, the countries who are members of CPLP. It will be the first initiative on. We still don't have an official name for it, but it will be focused on digital competences, and we are working in order to have a multi-stakeholder participation and in order to have all these countries involved and have a successful meeting, a successful forum in the, I believe that it will occur in the end of this year in Lisbon. So if you have
next year.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, next year. So if you are somehow interested in participate, please come to us and share your ideas, and you will be very welcomed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more interventions, please?
I'm Marius Antiaparan from Madagascar. I'm working at the CCTLD NIC MG. I'd like to ask a question to the whole audience. In Madagascar, we have had the CCTLD since 1997. In the year 2000, we had set up our first ISOC chapter. In 2016, we have had our IXP, the first time after almost 10 years of discussion with the ISPs and all these telecom operators. But right now, we didn't manage to put up any NRI or any internet governance forum in Madagascar. I'd like to ask you if there is a kind of roadmap to set up this first group, how to get it formalized. Who could start it first? Is it the government? Is it the civil society? Is it the academia? What is the best place? What is the best forum to start talking about internet governance with all the topics, developing of competency, the entrepreneurship on the internet, cybersecurity, and so on. We are really in that situation. We are all attending IGF. We are all attending ICANN meeting and so on. Government, civil society, some technicians. But when we are back to our country, we are not able to set up something to discuss about very specific topics on internet governance. Thank you.
I'll answer briefly. You know the Association for Progressive Communications, APC. The association has a stand here in the area of expositions, exhibitions, etc. And they are just launching the new edition of a book called, which is the general name is Jizz Watch, and the theme for this year's book is how the national IGFs are organized, and the history of the national IGFs, how they came to be, what they did, what was the participation, the practices, and so on. So it could be very useful for what you are asking for. So if you can take a look at the APC stand and get a copy of the Jizz Watch book, it would be great. And I think that Enrique has an announcement to make.
Oh, yes. We bring some books about the project against spam in Brazil. I have versions in Spanish and in English, and if any person is interested on this issue and this project that we did in Brazil, of course there are some chapters about the user education that I talk about on this session. So I have some copies with me. If anyone is interested, please come here and take a copy.
And Marcian wants to do some final comments.
Just to answer about national initiative. Yeah, so in Gabon we have identified three group of people: the women, disabled people, and parents. We want to make for them training for parents in the social network that permit them to follow their child. Okay, And for women and disabled people, in our country, in generally in Africa, people use a lot of mobile phone. So there are the problem to use personal computer. So we have an initiative in Gabon to make the training in the computer, in the personal computer for them.
Okay, according to our friend Vinicius, the time is over, right? So thank you very much.
Ah, ok. Ça, je vais encore enregistrer. Alors, ok. Yeah, ok.
Gracias, gracias.
Je t'envoie ça tout de suite par mail. Je t'envoie ça, je me connecte, c'est plus facile. I am the executive secretary for IGF, and we have an deputy general manager from the agency of ICT, Gabon ICT.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I work with UNCTAD, and I don't know if you were aware of the CSTD, the UN Commission on Science, Technology, and Development.
Okay.
There's an annual session in May, and one of the topics is digital competences.
Okay.
So we possibly will give you a call.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. See you. Maybe. Okay. Okay. Merci beaucoup. Oui. Ah, ok. Ok.